apparently, remember how the director of Veilguard bailed out? And she's with Tawatsi? Chat, she may be invading our a current favorite franchise, and Rev has a story on it. Do you want to see it? Do you want to see the story that Rev has about what may be happening to your favorite video game franchise? Tanashi, my body is always ready to rage. Alright, well, what's the Rev video? We will start off with the Rev video because you guys know what happens when I watch a Rev video, so we will start with it. Alright, we will make this the opener. And then we will move on to fun stuff from there. I already have one that I do want to watch today. That should be fun. Let's see what's going on here. Because according to the title, the Veilguard director might develop Baldur's Gate 4. And SBI may enter into the franchise. Now, I will say before we begin, there was like what you guys talked about with the video we watched yesterday, where he was talking about Civ and how he kind of jumped the gun on that because the whole thing with Harry Tubman from Civ was not the way Rev purported it. He kind of jumped the gun on it. So, is it possible he maybe jumped the gun on this? I don't know. But let's find out.
Hey, what's up guys, Riv here. So today we have a lot of gaming related news to cover, and there's one theme that we've covered before that's going to tie together a lot of these developments, and that theme is failing upwards, where people in the game industry are a part of failed projects, failed games, and even some that are so bad they tank entire studios, but instead of facing actual consequences on their career for being a part of these things, they instead get promotions and new opportunities. Now, I have a very concerning update regarding some of the ex-BioWare employees who have moved on to new positions. And to give you some context here, we're of course talking about Veilguard, right? Veilguard was such a colossal failure.
And Demon's saying
even
the same thing?
shills
Oh boy.
have to admit it at this point. And we saw what happened here. Delusions of grandeur were a part of the problem here. An ex-member of BioWare and the Dragon Age team has come out recently and said this was supposed to be a billion-dollar franchise.
Dragon Age Veilguard. Or Dragon Age, starting with Veilguard, was supposed to be a billion-dollar franchise. Zidane fucked it up. Bravo. They completely fucked it, and Dragon Age is now dead. I don't think they're going to be making any more Dragon Ages for a while after this last one. Yeah, how did that work out for you, my guy?
For EA, we all know that didn't work out. This is likely the last Dragon Age game we're going to see. It was an absolute failure. Now, of course, as a result of this, there were some consequences. There were layoffs at BioWare. However, some people would immediately find new opportunities, and that includes two writers who then immediately found themselves with new opportunities to work on Ghost of Yotei, because...
Okay. I'm sorry. Every time I fucking see it, the fucking Quagmire face gets me fucking tired. I'm sorry. Every fucking time. The goddamn Quagmire. I really do expect this avatar to just start going giggity, giggity, giggity. What button? What button are you talking about? Oh, yeah, I already did it, Revan. Thank you for the reminder, though. I already took care of it.
Of course that would happen, right? They already destroyed one beloved franchise. They're going to go try to do it again with Ghost of Yote. But one thing that we also covered was Corrine Bush, the director of Dragon
There we
Age,
go.
and she is someone who basically jumped ship, okay? In the
Oh,
gaming industry,
you got an ad. Okay, well, I can obviously, yeah, while you're getting in an ad. Yeah, it's. I'll be flat out honest. When she left, when we saw that story about her leaving, what was it, a week or two ago? I'll be honest, I did not expect her to get a position in Watson. I I never imagined she was able to succeed, and I didn't call that. I thought she basically got ran out of the studio and basically said you will say that you're moving on to bigger and better things, but reality is you're fucking fired. I didn't expect her to basically lead up Watsy, a studio at Watsy. That actually very much surprised me. Well, Zeb, this is kind of his brand at this point. Rev is when this, realistically speaking, this has kind of become his brand. He is sort of the go-to with information about that particular subject matter. He is. Oh, I know this, Zeb. It's kind of, he's dug in. He's really dug in on this, and it's the news stories that he wants to discuss. I'm not gonna fault him for that. I won't. It's how he's choosing to run his channel, do his YouTube videos, and you know what? He's bringing to light things that he's bringing to light new things. Like we didn't, a couple of videos we saw yesterday. He was talking about games that I never even fucking heard of until he was talking about. So it does seem like he's saying a lot of the same thing every time. But I think it's more along the lines of it's the same thing, but he's showcasing how this same thing that we all abhor is spreading throughout this industry. And I think he's trying to showcase how much this is spreading throughout the whole fucking industry. And to do that, you are going to hear a lot of the same thing. I don't fault him for that. He's just trying to. I'm gonna say he's trying to expand people's knowledge of the subject.
nobody goes down with the ship anymore. She saw the layoffs coming and she ditched. She got out of there. She roached. And immediately started finding new opportunities that everyone is seemingly trying to hide. People were wondering, where does she go? Well, eventually it was confirmed that she is at Skeleton Key. And Skeleton Key is a part of Wizards of the Coast, which is an incredibly woke company, right? They're a Sweet Baby Inc. partner, and they're responsible for absolutely destroying Dungeons and Dragons over the past bunch of years. Now, here is a disturbing update.
Wait, okay, but that's one thing Skeleton Key is newly formed. Oh, this is gonna be so bad. So, instead of doing the smart thing and maintaining an outside studio to make a kick-ass fucking game like they did with Baldur's Gate 3, which was like Baldur's Gate 3 made them a fuck ton of goddamn money. They're now gonna go in-house. And guess what's gonna happen with an in-house D&D Baldur's Gate 4? This is not going to go well.
Over the past bunch of years. Now, here is a disturbing update regarding Corrine Bush and what she might be doing over at Skeleton Key. It turns out she might be helping develop Baldur's Gate 4. Because again, of course, this is happening. So she can be a part of one of the most nightmarish implosions of a franchise we've seen. And now she gets to do the same with Baldur's Gate. And that sucks. Okay, anyone who thinks this is not concerning, You're giving someone a pass when they shouldn't be given the
Yeah.
pass, okay?
Yeah. Baldur's Gate 3 is successful because it was done completely out of house. It was done out, like there, of course, WotC would have had some input to it, but it was primarily what was the studio? I'm going to mispronounce it if I try and say the studio that did Baldur's Gate 3. It was like Larian. Thank you. Okay, yeah. If I actually saw it, I knew I pronounced it correctly. Yeah, Larian Studios is not part of WotC. That's why it was a good fucking game. It's because it was done out of house, not in house. Now that they're pulling this to an in-house studio, it's going to fucking kill it. Because all of WotC's bullshit is going to get injected into it. Then that is a recipe for failure. I did not realize that Skeleton Key was newly formed by WotC. So now they're going to start making all of their games in-house, and no one's going to buy them. Which begs the question, how long do you think it's going to be before WotC closes this brand new game studio? Eh? If Baldur's Gate 4 is going to be developed in-house, and WotC has all of their in-house bullshit as a part of it, what do you think the odds are that it closes down pretty quickly? Yeah, because as much as they're tanking the D&D franchise as a whole, they're not going to be able to afford to keep a game studio operational, especially if they dump a fuck ton of money into Baldur's Gate 4. If this ends up being like a $200 million game, like I suspect it might be, and it's just full of the typical WotC bullshit, they're going to lose hundreds of millions. That studio won't be long if that's the case.
Baldur's Gate 3 is an immense success, okay? We can see a year and a half after release, still around 60,000 in-game players right now.
Oh, it
And
will,
that's actually one of
absolutely.
their lowest numbers I've seen in quite some time. So that just tells you how continuing the relevancy is of Baldur's Gate 3. Now, I can't think of anything that concerns me more than bringing in someone like Corrine Bush to Baldur's Gate. Okay, that is very concerning because she's obviously very woke. She is a trans person who's obviously made it very clear that her own gender ideology and her political beliefs bleed into the products she's responsible for making. And
Yeah.
if she's the director of Baldur's Gate 4, I'm very concerned, or at least has some sort of major hand in its development. I think that is very concerning because Baldur's Gate 3
she's going to be
kind of
bringing
teeters
in
on
the
the perfect
Veilguard shit to
balance
Baldur's
of
Gate.
having some elements that, your traditional quote-unquote woke people might like, while also giving people freedom of choice in the game if they want to see that sort of stuff or not. The difference with Veilguard is it was forced upon you. You were forced and lectured at, and that's why that game is woke, and that's why Baldur's Gate 3...
For fuck's sake, Veilguard actually gave you, like, they actually had, at the beginning of the game, they had that whole trans identity thing where you actually got a fucking achievement for doing the trans identity, dialogue options. And this is the person you're bringing over to do Baldur's Gate. And Mouse, you are correct. We don't need a license company to continue D&D anymore. As a player, no, you don't. But that only goes to show that WotC as a company is failing because they can't sell their current editions of fucking D&D. All the money that they're putting into D&D, all of the money that they're putting into the development, the printing of the books, the money that they're putting into maintaining the website and everything, all of that's just basically going down the drain because no one is buying it. And so they're losing money hand over fist because people stop buying D&D books, generally speaking, after, according to what chat says, about second or third generation or edition. after about second or third edition, people stopped buying the D&D books because of what WotC did. And yes, you're right. Players don't need the company to continue D&D anymore, but the company sure as fuck needs the players. And if they've alienated them and they're not coming back because they hate what WotC has done to D&D by basically injecting every racial, gender ideology bullshit into their games by removing shit because they are like, oh, and this is representative of this ethnicity and it's offensive, so we're pulling that out, or why they're getting rid of the half-breeds, or why they're saying you can't, why they're basically, there's no other way to put it about, they're wokeifying the fuck out of the game, and nobody wants that. They're basically, they're not only offending everybody, they're telling everybody we don't want you to play our games. That's why we're pulling everything out of it. Everybody that has basically made their company for decades, we don't want your money anymore, and then they're gonna start crying because their company's going under because they're not making money anymore. It's the same typical ass backwards bullshit that happens with every DEI company.
Isn't woke. It gives you player choice. If you want to go out there and have gay romance options and things like that, you can. If you don't want to see that sort of stuff, you won't, because it's ultimately your choice. You have freedom of choice, and that's what makes Baldur's Gate 3 something really enjoyable for a very wide audience of people, unlike Veilguard. Now, of course, you
Exactly,
already
Dragon.
have these woke companies already on the horizon here with Skeleton Key and, of course, Wizards of the Coast, and now you're introducing someone like Corrine Bush into this mix. I'm very concerned that this could have a really negative impact on the development of Baldur's Gate 4. And again, failing upwards. How would anyone trust her?
I mean, let's be honest. If she is indeed coming up, and again, this is still a might be working on Baldur's Gate 4. This is, I think, still in rumor speculation. Okay, Kaibo have denied. Corrine Bush, like, being part of the development team for Baldur's Gate 4 is still rumor. However, if she is actually part of it, and she starts bringing in, like, people from Veilguard, which I could see her doing. Revan, if that was true, they would have said hell no to all of the DEI choices WotC has made for D&D over the last umpteen years already. You don't think that investors wouldn't have already stepped up when WotC said, we're getting rid of orcs, one of the staple creatures of D&D? And players went, are you fucking insane? No! They might be, Zap. They might be who the fuck not? Like, the investors may have just dumped the money and said, make us money, and they haven't even looked bad. But here's the other thing, and Brev may bring this up, I don't know if he will. What do you want to bet that if Corrine Bush does become a developer on Baldur's Gate 4, if she has a high position in the devs for Baldur's Gate 4, number one, what do you want to bet? It's going to turn into another Failguard. I'll betcha. If she has the influence that is being purported here, Baldur's Gate 4 is going to be another Veilguard. And what do you want to bet? If she has a high enough ranking position and she does work on this game, what do you want to bet? She starts pulling in all of her old chaos from BioWare that caused Failguard to flop and die and kill franchise, and she pulls them in to work on Baldur's Gate 4. And Baldur's Gate 4 will just turn into another Failguard 2.0. That's my strong suspicion. Is if she is working on it, she will basically turn it into another Veilguard, and she is going to convince people that whoever does the hiring, she will convince them to start bringing on all of her old cohorts from BioWare that got fired because they made a dog shit game and bring them in to work on Baldur's Gate 4. What you want to bet that's gonna happen?
With another beloved franchise after everything that's happened, it just blows my mind entirely. Now, let's go to another destroyed IP, Star
Oh
Wars
boy.
Outlaws and Ubisoft here.
Haha,
So I
look at the
know
game
this is the
numbers.
PC release, of course. It's not the most fair thing to point out, but look at the absolute state of Star Wars Outlaws. This game hasn't even been out for a half a year, and it's sitting at
Wow.
387
Not good.
in-game players right
Yeah,
now.
Ubisoft is a zombie game studio, this game company at this point. They are. It did it. Ubisoft is Walking Dead. Okay, it's too stupid to realize it's dead at this point. Now's I wait. Are you talking about Outlaws? You'll give Outlaws a try? I'm pretty sure it already dropped. Digimon, thank you for the follow. Yeah, I'm reasonably sure that Outlaws. I'm pretty sure it's already dropped in price, if I'm not mistaken. I'm gonna say it dropped once or twice already in price. Is this still 70 bucks on Steam? Okay, I thought I heard somewhere that they did the price on it got slashed. Maybe I was wrong. Or maybe they were just running a sale.
That is absolutely brutal. We know this was a commercial failure for Star Wars and Ubisoft. We all know that. But there are some people who are somehow finding their way out of the ashes, out of the destruction of this game, and getting some new opportunities in places
Oh
that,
boy.
once again, should probably concern you. So here's this individual, Kuba Wichnowski. This is a person who is a
Okay.
former person at Ubisoft, and in particular, Star Wars Outlaws. They're a developer. And now they have a new opportunity. Where? Oh, they're rejoining CD Projekt Red. And of course, with this image, it's
Okay.
clear they're going to be working on The Witcher 4. Now, this
Okay.
again, why is this happening? How does this keep happening? I don't know.
Okay. Hang on. This is one where I think Rev may be jumping the gun. Okay? Um, I'm not seeing. Normally, when you get a Twitter profile, usually you can immediately go, okay, this is fucked. But I'm not seeing any, like, this is one Twitter profile. I'm not seeing anything jumping out to me that's a problem. He's senior environment artist on, okay, he's a senior environment artist on Witcher 4. Okay? That is a key thing to note. He's working on the environments. He's not working on the character models. He's not working on the story. He's working on the environment. And he previously worked on Cyberpunk. What's TW? Is it The Witcher 3? And then, of course, he did work on Star Wars Outlaws. So, yeah, this guy worked on Star Wars Outlaws, but you know what? So, from what I understand, if he's an environmental artist, I've heard that the environments in Star Wars Outlaws were actually pretty good. The graphics involving the environments, how the environments were dynamic. I'd actually heard very positive things said about the environments of Star Wars Outlaws. And if he's an environment artist, yeah, this has nothing to do with DEI. He's literally working on the landscape. Alright? He's not working on the character models. He's not working on the story. He's not working on any. He's literally just crafting the environments. So, Rev might be jumping the gun on this, saying, oh, it's like, someone from Star Wars Outlaws now working on The Witcher. It's like, okay, but he's working on the landscape. That's not DEI, no matter which way you slice it. Unless the landscape itself suddenly starts birthing DEI concepts. This guy, I'm sure, is probably just fine.
Star Wars Outlaws, they're a developer, and now they have a new opportunity. Where? Oh,
That's what I
they're
was pointing out,
rejoining
Tornado.
CD Projekt Red. And of course, with this image, it's clear they're going to be working on The Witcher 4. Now, this again, why is this?
Okay, Revan, with Cyberpunk having the bugs, yes, you could lump him into that. But you know what? Just like No Man's Sky, Cyberpunk 180 the fuck out of that issue. And especially when they dropped the new release with what was it? Phantom Liberty. Like Cyberpunk, CD Projekt Red did a massive 180 with Cyberpunk, and it became fucking great. So yeah, it was a bad launch. No one is disputing the fact that Cyberpunk had a bad launch, but they turned it around. 100%, they turned that shit around. And again, Deadly, I think he meant to say Rev, not Revan. Uh, I think he meant Rev, not Revan in chat. Is my guess, as you probably had an autocomplete happen there. But I get what you said. It's yeah, the Cyberpunk had a terrible launch, but they had a massive comeback turnaround arc. And yeah, pointing this out is kind of alarmist. He's been off on this. Unless he has some information coming up here that we aren't aware of, giving this person some shit by going back to CD Projekt Red to work on the environments for The Witcher is not a big deal. It's really not.
This happening? How does this keep happening? I don't know. But man, oh man, just like the last group, probably a match made in heaven, right? You have an ex-Ubisoft person now joining CD Projekt Red, which is an incredibly woke company. I don't think that's controversial to say at all. If DEI was a drug, that's their person.
I don't know. I haven't been following it. Is CD Projekt Red considered a quote-unquote woke company now? Because the last time I heard about the woke thing, it was talking about the last time I heard about the wokeness thing with CD Projekt Red was when they were talking about the giving girls an opportunity, like an internship, like high school girls, an internship with them. Uh, and that was being labeled as woke, and I countered the argument with this is in fucking Poland, so girls might not have the same opportunities to get into game development in Poland like they do in the US. They've teamed up with SBI. That's not good. If they've teamed up with SBI, that's not good. But I haven't heard anything about that, so period thing? Potato, what period thing? I is confused. I'm confused. Yeah, exactly right. I'm confused too. What period thing? I have no idea what that is. Like, are we talking about as in menstrual? No, yeah, that's mouse same. I don't CD Projekt Red. What Rev is talking, I think, about with CD Projekt Red being woke is like I was talking about they were where they were talking about, doing like offering internships for girls at their studios, which again, oh, okay, I'm sorry, Potato, that's not woke or DEI. That is not. Telling their female employees that when they're having their monthly menstrual cycle, that they can take the day off because they feel like shit, because when a girl is having her period, yes, she feels like shit. That's not woke. I'm saying it's not flat out. That's basically okay. We're gonna treat our female employees kindly. It's not. So that has nothing to do with DEI. The whole thing of like, offering internships to girls like in high school is fine because like I said, I'm thinking this was in their Poland their studios in Poland, which in Poland there are not many opportunities for the gaming industry for girls. So, well, yeah, I mean that's the question. Well, Potato, that's the thing. It's like you're coming from a different mindset, from a different mindset, different era. This is like, and the way your thing is, just saying suck it up, buttercup, a lot of people probably agree with you on that. Even some women may agree with you on that too. But I am not gonna call a company woke or DEI injected because they are going to allow a woman who feels terrible during her time of the month to take the fucking day off because she feels like shit. That's not woke. I'm sorry, that's just treating an employee like a human being. Flat fuck out. There's nothing wrong with that. That's not woke.
Personal fentanyl. Like they are addicted to it. They will never quit it, and they'll go right down into the dirt with it if that's what's going to happen, right? They are
Yes,
extremely dedicated to DEI, and that always raises concerns about anything they're making, right? And if that's going to
really.
influence
I've not
not only the
heard
direction
any
of the
of this
game, but
coming
also
about
more
CD
importantly,
Projekt
the
Red.
people who they're hiring to make it, the kind of
No,
people and the kind
Potato,
of
it wouldn't.
agenda that's included with that. And seeing someone like this go straight from Ubisoft back to CD Projekt Red, it's not very surprising. And again, it adds another layer of concern to The Witcher 4. A lot of people do have some concerns about it. I don't think this is a game that looks completely cooked, right? There's nothing really on the surface here that's like complete alarm bells here, but there are things about really Ciri's whole becoming of a Witcher and also who's around this project that is raising some concerns, and this is just another layer to that. But let's move on from CD Projekt Red.
Alright, so the whole thing with CD Projekt Red, I'm sorry, that was a nothing burger. Rev's story and that was a nothing burger. He was talking about an environmental artist going back to work with CD Projekt Red on Witcher 4. It has absolutely nothing to do with anything DEI related. I'm sorry, Rev, but that just sounded like you used that as an excuse to rage about DEI because CD Projekt Red apparently has some DEI stuff going on or what have you. The person in question that was the focus of the story is not DEI. He was an environmental artist. Yeah, that one, I'm gonna have to call it that he's jumping on that one. He took a leap. He was reading way too far into it. This one, yeah, I'm gonna call this one absolutely not even a bit of a stretch. This was a stretch. And exactly. It's like, they may allegedly have ties to SBI, but the shit that they've put out is not like DEI woke nonsense. The shit they put out is pretty good. It's I don't know. That it sounded like he just brought that up just as a reason to talk about DEI and SBI being related to CD Projekt Red in some way. I don't know. Anyway, let's move on to his next topic.
To another very woke studio, and that is Rocksteady Studios. Now, if you've been watching my videos about
Yeah,
Rocksteady
this
for the
one.
past year or so, you might notice something is missing in this profile. Well, for the first time in as long as I can remember, their Pride flag profile picture is gone. Pride Month is finally over at Rocksteady Studios. It took only about a year for them to remove that. But yeah, that was a very strange thing, and the timing is also very funny. It seems very performative as well because a lot of companies are straying away from that stuff. They're realizing
Okay, I see something funny. I see something funny in this Twitter profile. Do you guys see something funny in this Twitter profile? Because I'm assuming this is a current Twitter profile. Anybody see anything kind of funny about this? Hmm? No, this is expected. Black Lives Matter and Pride, that's to be expected. Uh-huh. Yes. Want you learn about our next game, Suicide Squad? Suicide Squad. The game that is shutting the fuck down. They're killing the servers to it this summer. And it will be an offline only game. And they're still trying to pimp out Suicide Squad. That's funny.
People don't like this performative action anymore, and yeah, but
Oh,
not a
that's
lot of
what you were
things have
referring to,
changed
Alex.
though. You can
Okay.
see they still have hashtag Black Lives Matter, hashtag Pride in their bio. Like, again, are you selling me an agenda or a video game? I'm not
Okay,
really sure at
Technopath,
this
have a
point.
good one.
And honestly, it's the year 2025. Nobody appreciates this performative nonsense anymore. Like, we're all seeing through it. But we know, of course, Rocksteady Studios was responsible for the absolute disaster that was Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. We don't have to
Eh,
explain how bad that was. It cost Warner Bros. Hundreds of millions of dollars. And also
yep.
their connection to Sweet Baby is something that is ongoing. It appears that they're still partners with
Now,
Sweet Baby.
okay. Ace, the issue that people have with Pride these days is it's gone way too far. That's what people have the issue with Pride. Pride is, it's a month, and the people tend to go overboard these days regarding Pride, but they also try to stretch it out beyond the full months. And they try to basically go like Rocksteady did with a full fucking year. It's and the very concept of Pride has I just like BLM has lost its way. And Pride is now no longer a celebration of the LGBT community. It is now a reason to basically scream activism through a monster-sized megaphone. And that's where people have an issue regarding Pride. Is just like BLM, it's been co-opted and is no longer about the celebration of the people it supposedly touts. And that's the perfect example, Leo, is that Pride has been bastardized so badly. A small town in Canada, in Ontario, was actually fined. The mayor and the town were fined because they elected not to fly a pride flag for Pride Month. So it's basically, again, it has been co-opted where once upon a time it was a fun celebration. I believe it is, Kevin. I haven't looked into it recently. Yeah, from a flagpole that they didn't even have. Yeah, this is a town that did not have a flagpole from which to fly a pride flag, and they got fined for it by by like a human rights tribunal in Ontario. But that's why people basically hate Pride nowadays. Because it's no longer merely about the celebration of the LGBT community in a fun, you know, pleasant way that is just, showing people, thank you, Destroyer, that are not LGBT, just like, this is fun, come join us, we want everybody to have a good time, and basically showcase that, you know, and we're a good community, and so on and so forth. And it is no longer about that. Yeah, a fun, family-friendly way, exactly right, Ryan. It's not that anymore. And that's why people hate Pride, is why, and, the fact that it goes on for an entire fucking month, it's also, like, goes on too long. I'm sorry, Pride should not be for a whole fucking month. Pride, you can give Pride a day or even a weekend, like most other celebratory holidays. That's it. Give Pride a day or a weekend. That's all is necessary. It does not need to go on for a full fucking month. It is completely unnecessary. and only just gives all these people that much more time to just do this crazy activism shit. Yeah, exactly. Well, there you go, Dre. Yeah. It started off like all of these things. Like all of them. It started off with good intentions, and then it got co-opted. Ace? Yes. It's for the month of you don't need it for an entire month. That is unnecessary. Okay? Like for Black Pride Month, for Pride Month, this does not need to be a full month. It is unnecessary. You can have the like I said, a day, or even have like a weekend for recognition of it. Absolutely, I'm all for that. Having like and it's not Black Pride, it's Black History. So yeah, it's like Black History Month. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, it doesn't need to be Black History Month. It does not need to be Pride Month. It can, make it, Black History or Pride Day, or even Black History or Pride Weekend. It Making it a month is stupid. I'm sorry. Nobody gives a fuck about it after a day or two. After 1 or 2 days, nobody fucking cares. And now it's all just about marketing. After the first day or two, it's literally all about companies, corporations doing marketing and saying, look at how wonderful we are celebrating Black History Month for our downtrodden African American individuals. Or with pride, look at how wonderful we are supporting the LGBT community by throwing up a rainbow on literally everything. Look at how supportive we are. Buy our shit. That's it. That's all these Black History and Pride months do. That's it. So no, I don't think they should be months. Give them a day, just like every other celebratory day. A day, I'll even, say stretch to a weekend. But there's no reason for either to be a full fucking month. You don't need to make official Black History or Pride months to be able to teach stuff about Black History or Pride for more than one fucking day. You don't need to categorize a whole fucking month for this to continue to teach it. Anyway, moving on.
Baby Inc. And of course, how does that get rewarded? Well, with some more opportunities. Yep, because in the gaming industry, you can fail miserably, but as long as you're playing for the right team, well, you get more opportunities. And that is with the new
Oh
Batman
god.
game that's in development at Rocksteady. Now, we heard about this quite some time ago, but it is now confirmed, and it's still years away from releasing. But again, people
Yes,
are
yes.
very, very shocked that this continues, that they can massively mess up a DC IP, by the way, and then get
Yep.
rewarded with another one. It just doesn't make any sense. And again,
Okay. One thing Rev is probably not factoring. Rocksteady may have a contract with WB. Okay? This may not simply be WB is rewarding Rocksteady with the failure of Suicide Squad. Rocksteady may literally have a contract with WB to produce X amount of Batman games. And this is not simply reward for failure. This is contract obligation. And well, if WB wants another Batman game, they don't necessarily have to go to Rocksteady for it. Granted, Rocksteady has done all of them, but my suspicion is Rocksteady's getting it because there's a very good chance they may still have a contract with WB to produce the games. Kind of like how for a long fucking time, EA was the sole contract holder for all Star Wars games. maybe in the same vein. WB maybe Rocksteady may have a contract with WB to make all of their DC games. That could be the situation here. I don't. And by the way, a new quote-unquote Batman game may or may not actually have fucking Batman in it. Because let us not forget, the last Batman game didn't have fucking Batman. Let's not forget that. The last quote-unquote Batman game was the Arkham Knights, which did not have Batman. It had Nightwing, it had Robin, it had Batgirl, and it had Red Hood. No Batman. So it's entirely possible that the next Batman game, yeah, it may not be Arkham at all, or it may be, again, a non-Batman game. Granted, Arkham Knights completely fucked the Arkham lore. Arkham Knights has nothing to do with the rest of the Arkham games. Grindhouse, if they do Batman Arkham Beyond, and they basically go Batman Beyond with it, that potentially could be interesting. It'd be tough to do given the mobility of Terry McGinnis and in Batman Beyond. It would be tough to keep it so confined, but they could do it. They could do it like they did, with Arkham Knight and Arkham City. They had the whole city as the playground, so they could do it with Batman Beyond, and you would have a lot more mobility options because Terry McGinnis's Batsuit can actually fly, not simply glide. So, who knows? Maybe the next Batman game will be an Arkham game that will be in Batman Beyond. The one downside is you won't have the elder Bruce Wayne being voiced by Kevin Conroy, which is sad. But there are voice actors out there who can do a good job voice acting Batman. We've seen it in several of the animations. Yes, Kevin Conroy will always be Batman. Unfortunately, the man, we have unfortunately lost the gentleman. He is unfortunately lost to us. We have to, there has to be another actor to take his place. That is just the way world goes. But yeah, on Arkham Origin, an Arkham City game in the Batman Beyond universe could be pretty fucking cool.
And clearly, it seems like Sweet Baby's still on board with Rocksteady. It seems like they're still on board with pretty much everybody, by the way. According to rumors, they've lost essentially no contracts as a result of the last year where they were exposed for all of their terrible connections to terrible products. But yeah, here we go. Failing upwards once again. Now, we're going to return to Assassin's Creed Shadows and Ubisoft here. This is an example of failing upwards, but I just want to revisit Assassin's Creed Shadows because we have another round of bad news for them, bad PR looks, because of course
what do you mean?
They would do that again.
Wait. Did my brain just skip over something? Hang on, did I miss something?
No contracts as a result of the last. According to Rocksteady, it seems like they're still on board with pretty much everybody, by the way. According to rumors, they've lost essentially no contracts as a result of the...
Alex, no. He was... Okay, you confused me. He was talking about SBI. He was talking about Sweet Baby Inc. does not have contracts. He was not talking about Rocksteady having a contract with WB. So, completely different. It was Sweet Baby Inc.'s contracts, not Rocksteady's contracts. And yes, supposedly Sweet Baby Inc. has not lost any contracts. Yeah.
Products. But yeah, here we go. Failing upwards once again. Example of failing upwards, but I just want to revisit Assassin's Creed Shadows because we have another round of bad news for them, bad PR looks, because of course they would do that again. And at this point, it's almost getting so redundant with Assassin's Creed Shadows and Ubisoft. Like, I can't even make like the main presentation of the video. It's got to be buried towards the end because we're just like, how many Assassin's Creed videos can we make? It's getting exhausting. But
at least Rev is recognized. Okay. At least Rev is recognizing it. I, I think at this point people have been telling Rev, dude, you have done so much fucking Ubisoft and Assassin's Creed Shadow stuff. You need to get off of this. It's too much. You need to move on to something else. I think maybe Rev finally recognizes it. Is it? Okay.
Scene. It's a very strange one. So forced, so dumb, but here it is. Prepare for a stealthy taste sensation with the IGN X Assassin's Creed Shadows Strike with Flavor Japan Crate.
What?
Okay, so I don't know about you guys, but I love collaborations between games and IGN. People go crazy for IGN. The gamers, they love IGN. They can't get enough of IGN. Having their name slapped on there, it's an instant success. But why are people mad? For real, though. Well, down here it says, new IGN exclusive Assassin's Creed Shadows Boxu Box. I don't speak Japanese, but I immediately know there's something not right here. And people would point that out.
What?
A Boxu Box. Bro, this is getting pathetic. Just give it up already. This is literally box in katakana. You didn't go with this right here or something. Just the bare minimum. Ubisoft clearly doesn't give a shit.
Okay. He's presenting the kanji. But what's the pronunciation? Wait. Boxu is literally box. Oh my god. So it's like saying pensu for panties. It's the literal pronunciation. Oh my fucking god.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
Are you fucking... Oh, Pink, who the fuck knows? There's a shit ton in this game that they apparently did not run by someone. Like, that is Japanese and say, hey, is this a good idea? It was at that moment that I realized I fucked up. Yeah, I just improved that today. Oh, John! Oh, Ace, you're very welcome. I'm glad you're having fun. Yeah, they're trying to do bento. That's the problem. They called it Boxu Box. They should have called it a fucking bento. Cause I'm guessing that's what they're going for. A goddamn bento snack box. IGN! Ubisoft! Has another L. Add it to your fucking collection. And hi, Catherine. How's it going?
So yes, ladies and gentlemen, their Boxu Box, it just literally means box. Again, with most things involving Ubisoft in this game...
Okay. Rev was blocking this with his hair. Earlier, when I was reading this, I couldn't see the word... See, that said it's literally box in katakana. Oh god, I'm sorry, I mispronounced it. Katakana. It took me, that's why I didn't initially catch it. His hair, I think, was blocking this word. Okay.
It's not some in-your-face, malicious example of something, but it's just so dumb.
Alex,
like,
Ubisoft approved it.
Would have prevented this. Really, just having ears would have prevented this. Like I said, Boxu Box? Really? It's just embarrassing at this point. I don't really know what else to say about this game. We're a month and a week away from its release, and we'll have to wait and see. Again, I don't think this is going to be the biggest failure of all time, but man, did they really hurt their PR and limit how high the ceiling could be for this game. And also to add insult to injury, this is a great development.
What?
So Team Ninja challenges Ubisoft to a feudal Japanese duel announcing Rise of the Ronin will hit PC just days before Assassin's Creed Shadows.
Okay, help me out. I have not heard of this Rise of the Ronin. Does anybody know about this game from Team Ninja? I have not heard of this game. I'm guessing this is it down here? Interesting choice where this person is wearing a British naval uniform. This woman's wearing a British naval uniform. I know nothing about it. It's an open world ninja. Really? Interesting. Okay. I may need to check out a trailer for this.
A wonderful gambit right here. I applaud them in this decision.
Team Ninja, I've heard of this
another
studio.
Unfortunate development for Ubisoft's last hope for survival. Team Ninja has confirmed that the PC port for their previously Sony exclusive feudal Japan set open world samurai game Rise of the Ronin will officially release just days.
Okay. Okay, this is not a new game. Okay, this is not a new game. This is a game that was released exclusively on Sony, on the PlayStation, and it is, okay, it's releasing they're releasing a PC port days before Assassin's Creed Shadows. Okay. Okay, now this makes sense. So this is not a new game. It's a bit like, what is it, maybe like 2 years old? A year or two old, maybe? And they're releasing a PC port for it days before. Okay. Okay, Death Star, have a good night. Last year? Okay, Leo, last year. Yeah, Shadows is fucked. It is absolutely fucked. And you know what? Who knows? Maybe I'll want to try this game. The Rise of the Ronin. Like, I love ninja games. I may give this one a try. I ain't touching Assassin's Creed Shadows, but when they port this thing to PC, if it's available on Steam or something, I might give it a try.
Ahead of Assassin's Creed Shadows. This is a power move. I love it. Immediately putting a comparison point out there for this setting. And yeah, I hope it works out for them. And you know what? You can't really feel too sorry
Andy,
for
I probably
Ubisoft
would
at this point.
if I get
they've
it.
really self-created all these problems for themselves. And again, look at the stock. It's just, it just keeps getting worse and worse. I think.
Wait, hang on. This is different. This changed. We looked at this yesterday and it didn't, and hang on. Wait, or was this EA that I'm thinking of we looked at? Okay, yeah, it had a bit of a bump here, January 24th, and it's going back down. Oh, they're so fucked. It was EA, yeah, I'm thinking of EA.
This is potentially the all-time low. This is the last month. It's actually managed to continue going down. If you look at the 6 months here, I mean, they're cooked, man. They're absolutely cooked. Now, speaking of cooked, there's one more thing I want to talk about in today's video.
Oh, there we go.
PlayStation Network was cooked for quite some time, and this made people quite upset. How does this happen? How do you have such big technical issues? Well, you can see this article from PC Gamer, which I'll say one of their better ones. I mean, it's still bad, but...
Fair warning. Ember Rise of the Ronin is a bit of a Souls-like game, Hope. You like difficulty.
I can adapt. If it's a bit Souls-like, I'm adaptable. I haven't actually played any Souls games, so it could be fun, and you guys may get to laugh at me getting my ass kicked a lot.
It's better than the usual. They say the PlayStation Network outage proves PC gamers were right to resist its mandatory sign-in requirement. Okay, you had a pretty good start here, but you can see they say review bombing campaigns are...
The mandatory sign-in requirement means fucking nothing. Because, chat, as I told you guys yesterday, I don't have to sign in to my PlayStation Network on my Steam copy of Helldivers, but the servers still, like, ship themselves and I could not play Helldivers for almost 48 hours. The problem isn't the PlayStation sign-in requirement. The problem is that the Helldivers runs on the Sony servers. The PlayStation sign-in requirement is completely immaterial to this argument.
Often motivated by half-baked culture war controversies, of course they'd have to include this, about trans characters, queer developers, or supposed mafias of liberal writing consultants bending multi...
Wait. Sorry, hang on. What? Hang on. Hold the fuck up.
Controversies, of course they'd have to include this, about trans characters, queer developers, or supposed mafias of liberal writing consultants bending multi-million-dollar companies to their will. Yeah, you seem a little insecure about that. Last May, though, we saw a great example.
Author? Review bombing is a way for customers to say, we are not happy with your shit. I'm nuts. This is literally how customers let the company that they purchase things from know, we are not happy with what you are doing. Fix your shit. There's no controversies. This is not controversies about trans characters, queer developers, mafia, liberal writing consultants, blah blah blah. This is literally people saying, your game sucks, fix your shit. Yeah, this is this author's projection. Chances are people probably act the fuck out of this author on Twitter and say, you're a hack, you're a dumb fuck, and they're butthurt. And that's why they put this in. That's it. The author's a salty cuck and is probably just butthurt about getting called out on their shit journalism. That's it.
Example of the review bomb's utility in pushing back on genuine consumer grievance, Helldivers 2 PlayStation Network sign-in requirement. That was a big...
I'll grindhouse. Not hard enough. I can go harder, grindhouse. Do you want me to go harder?
Big deal. And I think that was, again, as they point out here, a good example of review bombing
that's when I'm
forcing
good,
action.
grindhouse.
But of course it says, to be fair to Sony and Arrowhead, it was communicated from the start that such a requirement was meant to be implemented eventually, and at the time, the stakes didn't seem all that high. Many players pointed to the galling exclusion of gamers in countries that can access Steam but not PSN as a reason to resist the imposition, but Sony has largely surrendered its PSN on PC ambitions, while still weirdly excluding those countries in Helldivers 2 and its other releases, and players in the global north don't seem too bothered these days. Let's call a spade a spade. Much of the backlash was because Sony's requirement was annoying, and supposed player protection justification felt insulting when the move was clearly meant to force more users into Sony's PSN ecosystem, having to juggle online services you wouldn't use if you didn't have to. Another company insisting on having your email and other personal information is always annoying. Man, did Sony like cut off a PC Gamer or something? Damn.
No, it's just even a broken clock is right twice a day. This guy had to, this journalist had to put this because to say otherwise, they'd be called out like the shill they are. I think they had no alternative but to say this because there's no way to spin it. There was literally just no way to spin this to look positive for Sony. They tried to soften the blow by doing this shit and the stuff at the beginning of the article. So they tried to soften it, but they had to basically just call this out because this was a colossal fuck up by Sony with their server crash. It had to be called out. There's no way around it. And because they are journalists in the gaming industry, they had to report on it. So they softened the blow, but they still called them out, and that's it. They had no choice.
They were cooking with this one, but that's a very great concern and a great point to be made. And yeah, a lot of PC gamers felt pretty vindicated and laughed at the situation because the PSN outage was one that went on and on and
It's
on.
already chaotic? Holy shit! Oh, god damn, you're not supposed to... You got in here 2 seconds ago. Why is Twitch slapping you with ads? God damn. Alright, well, I can hold. I'm sure I can talk about something here. Authors make Helldivers 2 and the server shut down in the middle of skate. Now, that could be correct. And thank you, Josh. Someone tell Chaotic to refresh. Grinos, that could be true. God knows I was pissed this weekend when I was trying to grind. Like, they literally launched the new fucking War Bond, like, Thursday or Friday before the servers went down. And right after the War Bonds launched, the servers go down? And I couldn't fucking grind for shit. I could not get hardly anything out of my War Bonds this weekend because the game was literally unfucking playable because of this shit. So, yeah, a lot of people were fucking pissed off, and they had to say something.
And I don't want to hear about these player protection justifications. It's all about money. They just want you to
it's all about money. Of course it is.
Basically hand over cash on a consistent basis. That's what they want, and they want your personal information as well for whatever financial goal they have.
Well, Ace, it's not your... It wasn't just the Helldivers War Bomb thing. There was a beta for Monster Hunter World. There was a beta that was happening only this weekend. And I think there were a couple of sizable tournaments happening this weekend on PlayStation. COD had the 2 times XP weekend. There were a couple tournaments. Thank you, Wilds. Yeah, Monster Hunter Wilds was having their beta this weekend, and it was only this weekend. I don't know if they rescheduled now because of the fuck up. There was a lot of shit happening this weekend on PlayStation when their servers went down. And so a lot of people were fucking pissed.
Mind with that, and this whole situation was a mess and a bad look for PlayStation, and really there's nothing else to say about it. But for now, that's going to do it for this video. I know a lot of topics today, a lot of different directions, so as always, feel free to share your thoughts about today's topics in the comment section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.
Well, chat. Some interesting developments there. Couple things that kind of went off the rails on Rev's end there. You know, we did have to call out a couple of those things, but some interesting developments and some worrisome developments. But I do now have a game that I need to be looking into next month. So at least I know about that.